How many people, Joe? How many people, Joe?
We're a very popular show. We got 7 people in the chat, so that means 7 people better smash that like button. Let's go.
Let's go. We need some
I
energy
got
tonight. Let's
I,
go.
I got a second wind in me after today, so
What gives you that second win, Joe? What gives it to you?
Ooh, I gotta turn that down.
Turn the volume down, rookie.
I turning it down. We're doing it live. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels good getting on here, talking to our friends. Talking about life and everything. So I don't know. I'm just in a good mood.
Good.
6 hours of driving. I guess it just does that to you.
You have a lot of time to think in the car, Joe. What's up, Bill? We knew you would be here, but it's better to see you here right out the gate than about halfway through.
15 people. Let's go. You're in there.
What's up, John? What is up? Hold on just a second.
What's up, John?
Okay. My headphones are feeling funny. I got to quit this. You mess with your microphone sometimes, Joe. My deal is going like this with my headphones all the time. What's up, Lawn Experiments? George, what's up? Tom, good evening. Y'all coming in hot tonight. We need the vibes, as they say, Joe, from the chat, because I'm pooped, man. I'm pooped. John L, what's up? It's been what?
It's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a day. I had a very bad lunch.
Very bad lunch. What, it give you the bubble guts? Why you gotta?
Nah. So the company I work for, we own our sister companies in Maryland, and we all decided to go out for lunch before we drove back. And when in Maryland, what are you gonna get? What do you think?
Probably lobster.
Crab cakes, lobster. Just like what Bradley Cooper said in Wedding Crashers.
Dude, crab cakes is where it's at, man. They
Football and crab cakes, that's what Maryland does. That's what he said. Yeah. Or I think it was his friend or something. But yeah, so I got a crab cake sandwich. It was
not good.
Not as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Well,
you
win some, lose some, dribble, shoot, and hope for the best. What is up, Kevin? John again, Tom again, man, dude, the stomach bug has been going around. I'm not kidding you. Like, it obliterated a big get together for my family just a few weeks ago. I mean, it went
a lot of shitters in the catch basins out there.
Yeah, oh man, they were full. Shitters were full.
That catch basins, I bet you they were catching that stuff, weren't they?
The sump's not big enough in the bottom, Joe. The sump isn't big enough to catch all the turds that were coming out of my family. I shouldn't even. Hey, sorry, fam, but it was bad, man. We had a big weekend planned with some family events, and patient zero was my 1-year-old nephew, and it just went through the family like crazy. Now, my family, me, my wife, and kids did not get it because we avoided everybody else, but it just completely demolished our weekend. We had a big family get-together planned to celebrate some big life changes coming up in my twin brother's life, and
cool.
It just didn't pan out the right way, but what can you do? I mean, we played it safe. They were laid up in bed. It was not a fun weekend for them, and we didn't want to join their misery. What is up, Pat? Rob, I hope you're getting some sleep, man. How are things? How are things with the new baby? Chuck!
Congrats again, Rob, on that. It's something when you have a kid. I tell you, it really is. It's an amazing thing. It's. I look back on it every day, and it's just like, it's amazing, just the journey you go on when you're a father, and it's crazy. It just really is.
Hey, don't lose that train of thought, Joe. That's where I want to pick up when we finish up these last 60 seconds, because it's pretty fun when you have a baby, but it just gets better from there, right? Now, I don't want to talk too much, because if my wife is watching, I don't want to talk too much about having how much fun having babies is, because she might get the wrong idea. But
I'm done. I got 2. I'm done.
I hope. If you ask me, I'm done. But we'll. Let's not go down that.
Yeah.
Let's not go down. I don't know who's watching. I don't know if my wife's watching. Your wife might be watching. But Rob, we say this because we're happy for you, my friend. We're happy for you. Congrats again.
They're at my kids and my wife. They're out in the other room. They're learning a bit about Beethoven. My son has to learn it for music class. So.
Hey Joe, we got 8 seconds, and this show is going to begin. Speaking of beginning, SEC tournament just first pitch went off earlier this
Oh,
afternoon.
yeah.
That's what I've got.
College baseball.
Oh, it's time to go, Joe. What do you know? It's time to go, and it is, what is this, Joe? It is the Budget Wooder Show, number 15. Can you believe that, Joe? Gosh, I hate going through the same old, it's like a broken record every week. It's like, oh, can you believe it's this show number? It's that show number. But I really can't believe it sometimes, Joe, because it feels like we just started this on my birthday back on February 7th. But
by the way, 27 in the chat, 27, smash the like button right now. Don't be afraid of people. Again, another week. If you're in the chat or if you're watching live, don't be afraid to comment. Everyone's welcome. You know, it's Thirsty Tuesdays, so let's get everybody
Joe,
going.
Stop.
It's a catch. It's a catch basin of a day, so we're gonna catch everything. You know,
we're gonna catch it all. Hey, first and foremost, thank you for being here for the 27 that are. We really do appreciate it, Joe and I. We've said it before. We like getting on here on Tuesday nights, but if y'all weren't here to join us, it wouldn't be near as much fun. Hey, last night Joe had some fun. Joe, tell us how things went with the old youngster last night. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, so the bank that we use at work reached out to me, said, "Hey, got an extra ticket for a Phillies game." I was like, "Sure, why not? Free tickets, preferred parking, don't gotta pay for anything. I'm in, right? You know." So, little duel back and forth. The younger and the older son, you know, which one wanted to go. The younger one actually beat out the older one on this. I was really surprised.
So how did you decide? How did they? Did they boxing glove it in the backyard and just swap blows?
I told him, I was like, "Look, I got tickets to the Phillies game. Who wants to go?" And I didn't even tell them what to do. They were just like, rock paper scissors. I'm like, "What? You guys?" I'm like, and so they went back and forth. Actually, I lied. The older one won, but then the day of, he's like, "No, I don't really want to go." I'm like, "Really?" I said they got junk food, they got crab fries, they got chicken tenders, ice cream, you know, soda. You got all the junk food that you could think of, hot dogs, cheesesteaks. You know, it's a suite. So
and he bailed a day
all
of
this food, and you can eat as much as you want. And then he's like, "Nah, I really don't want to go." He's not a big baseball fan, and our seats were really, I mean, it's a suite, so the seats were pretty good. They were on the Phillies dugout side. And then the Fanatic, you know, he comes out during the 7th inning. So he's like right there in front of us. My son, they were doing the YMCA song with all these kids on top of the dugout during the 7th inning stretch. So he's like dancing. He was having a great time.
Well, that's good. That's good for you. At least, you know.
And the Fanatic, hands down, best mascot of all time. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, at least your oldest was brave enough to tell his old pops that, "Hey, man, I don't really want to go," because that wouldn't have been near as much fun for you sitting next to the little one that doesn't want to be there. At least
Pat, it's not always about the wins or losses. Like, honestly, like, I just like watching my son, just watching the game and just, you know, just picturing through his eyes what he's seeing as a young kid, and, you know, just thinking of like back when I was a kid and going to the baseball games and going to the vet and seeing Mark McGwire and stuff like that. Like, just, I don't know, just for me, it's more just seeing his reaction and anything else.
That's what it's all about. Hey, I didn't get to go to a Phillies game, but big day in our household today. We had a kindergarten graduate.
Nice.
The oldest graduated kindergarten today, and we finished up her day with a rousing game. If you haven't played board games with your little ones in a while, we had a wild time playing Guess Who. You remember playing Guess Who?
Okay.
We've played Guess Who. We've played Candyland. We've played Chutes and Ladders. We've been
I was gonna say that, Chutes and Ladders. Yeah.
We've been going back to
Candyland is my jam. I like Candyland.
I can't win at it though. She get
the ice cream cone.
She just kills me every time. Hey, that's a little blast to the past. And Joe, we can't start the show without our blast to the past. What's your history lesson this evening?
Our Today in History today goes back to the year 2000, and it's American rapper Eminem.
Ooh.
I'm the real Slim Shady. Yeah. So Marshall Mathers LP was released. It was the fastest selling album in the history of rap, and it put obviously Eminem on the map. And actually, I have another cool back in 1980, the same day, The Shining was released as well.
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. You know, that is not Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King didn't exactly see eye to eye
Eye to
on a
eye,
lot of
yeah.
that stuff. It's weird to me because years later he came out with his version that was released to TV, but you can't beat the Stanley Kubrick version from. You said that was 1980.
1980. Yep.
Oh, hey, uh, you were talking about you brought up Phillies or something. Have you seen the new Carmelo Anthony commercial with Kevin? What's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Hart. Where they're playing like a little parody of we're not talking about we're talking about practice. I can't. They're talking.
Kevin Hart is a clown. I actually don't like him.
You're not okay. I'm not the biggest Kevin Hart fan. You put Kevin Hart and like Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker is like.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. Yeah, he's funny. When Kevin Hart was at the Super Bowl the year the Eagles won, he thought he was like the shit.
Oh, I remember
on
that.
Stage sitting next to Fletcher Cox. I'm like, dude, you did not fucking play. Get the fuck off the
stage.
He
was super blitzed, man. He was like out of his mind, and I remember that was kind of a big deal for him. Didn't he have to come out and kind of apologize?
Yeah,
for some of that?
Yeah, he's like cursing right on live TV. It was like, dude, like go to your rock, crawl in your rock again. Come out when the Eagles are good again. Unlike Bradley Cooper that actually comes to a couple games each year, and actually, when the Eagles have a run is at every freaking playoff game. Unlike you come out like once a year, So go crawl back under your rock, Kevin Hart.
Hey, was that
and keep making your movies with the Rock?
Yeah,
they suck.
Was that Eminem album? Was that the one with his duet or that collaboration with Dido? Wasn't that on that album?
I'm not a big rap Eminem person. Like I always grew up on like oldies, 60s, 70s.
Is that how we came across our sponsor tonight, Joe? I wouldn't say this is oldies, but it's definitely another blast from the past. When was this? What decade was this fella from? Was he a 70s, early 80s? I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Look, if you're in the chat, you're gonna know. Let us, not youngsters, but older youngsters, know what decade our sponsor's from tonight. And I can't believe he's our sponsor, Joe. I just can't believe it.
Sharon.
Is this what you?
I'm a psycho.
I'm a psycho, Sharon. I can't believe it's not Juice, Sharon. This is Ozzy Osbourne, live in London, and my favorite fertilizer is. I can't believe it's not Juice, Sharon. Sharon.
Oh, Joe.
Get me off of here, Sharon.
Is this? Tell me, Joe.
Bloody hell, this is complete rubbish.
Is this done by design that you always pick sponsors that have different accents?
I don't pick a British person. I try not to, but this one I just couldn't pass up this week. Sharon Osbourne reached out to me. She took a break from doing her stints on The View. And she said,
"Is she still? I don't think she's been doing that for years."
America's Got Talent. That's right. She was she's taking a break from that. I forgot.
Is she still doing that? I don't think she's doing that either.
I have no clue.
Joe,
but,
folks, we're not here for pop culture, but apparently Bill is, because it was called Stan. Thank you, Bill. You have. I was about to wreck my brain going through the alphabet trying to think of the title of that track. Did anyone know what year was Ozzy? The big thing, because Joe and I are obviously not up on our pop culture, Joe, but that's okay. That's okay.
That Ozzy, but you want to throw that back up? I mean, you guys got to go check this out. I mean, he's an actual doctor, Ozzy Osbourne, and unlike the other person that sells a similar product to this.
Hey, thanks, John.
So, yeah, go check this out. The link is in our bio. And make sure you click on it. We do get a 10% commission. Ozzy's Super Juice,
and it might you might
bloody good.
You might hallucinate.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
You might hallucinate for all we know. I mean, we don't know what it's packed with, but it's super. That's for sure. Hey, what else is super, Joe? Look, we've asked y'all. Now y'all have done more than we've asked. I mean, y'all are freaking awesome for being here, but we want to brag on y'all a little bit. Aside from thanking you for being here and showing that kind of appreciation, we want to appreciate in another way. We want to show off all your hard work in the lawn. We know a lot of you are out there killing it, and the lawns are looking mint already, especially you cool season lawns right ahead of summer heat. You probably got it in tip-top shape. So we want to see your lawns, folks. Send us to mybudgetlawn@gmail.com or to Joe at Waterboy Productions on Instagram. Joe, is that the best way to get you?
It's really easy to do.
And if you do it, here's what we'll do tonight. We're going back to one of our old faithfuls here because his lawn is rocking right now. Bill, it looks good, dude.
It is looking, Bill.
It's
looking mint. It's looking mint, Bill. I mean, like, wow. Look at this. And even Travis, I don't know what he's doing with his hand there. It's
a little squirrely. Leave me alone.
And there's another guy in a car over there. I don't know what the hell he's doing either.
Oh, he's rubbernecking, Joe. Don't worry about him. He's rubbernecking.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he saw that lawn and he was like, oh, you know how it is. You're rubbernecking. That's my favorite way to put it. When you're like, you can't drive past a cop car or a fire truck or an ambulance without, at least for a second, just taking one little peek to find out what in the world's going on.
And while you're at it, everybody, go follow Bill Super TA 329 on Instagram. He posts a lot of pictures of his lawn, and his lawn looks really great. I mean, seriously, is that real, Bill? I'm starting to think this is fake, and I'm gonna have to do a drive-by myself, and maybe take a piss on his lawn or something like that, like with some super juice or something, Make sure it's real.
Make sure, hey, is a human pee as potent as a dog urine? I would make sure you get down and really get it concentrated on one spot of Bill's lawn. Hey, Bill, is that okay?
That redneck in that white car, though, he's looking a little suspicious.
Man, he must be from Arkansas or something. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. Hey, you know what the Arkansans like, Joe? Bill, hats off to you. Bill. Looks freaking awesome. You did mention, though, you're done real mowing for the spring, probably getting ready to get it set up for some of that heat that's just right around the corner. But for now, it's looking awesome. I'm sure you'll have it looking just as good or better once the fall time rolls around. Hey, Joe, you know where the rednecks like to go? Now, I know we had some
John, what? I just got your pictures. We'll make sure we get them up for you next week. We can't really just do it on the fly kind of thing. So we'll definitely make sure we get your pictures up next week. And thanks. And again, guys, he literally just sent them into my Instagram. So check me out, Waterboy Productions. We'll get your pictures up because I love complimenting people. I love getting compliments. I love giving other people compliments. I mean, this looks great. And his lawn, like he just sent me these pictures, man. It's looking really good as well. So,
well, there's a misconception that because you post your pictures online or that you make videos about it, that you need other people's validation. No, it really has nothing to do with that. It really has to do with.
You should see. I can't wait to get this picture up, man. This friggin' grass is thick. I mean, it's crazy. Like.
It really has to do, Joe, that there's no one else really in my neighborhood around me close that likes doing this like I do. So we post videos and pictures on the internet so we can share it with others and hopefully have them share theirs back with us. It has nothing to do about that and needed validation from anybody. It has to do with, hey, these are my people, these are my friends. Let's show off our lawns with each other.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I catch myself talking about grass all the time. I was talking too much about it last night at the Phillies game. I talked about it too much today. And I like getting on here and being able to talk about it with Travis and everybody else because it's what we like to do.
It's funny because I've got people that I went to high school with now were commenting on my videos. Like at first they kind of like, not these people in particular, but I've had people in the past that when I first started this, they kind of made fun of me. And that's okay because it is kind of weird at first. But then once they got into lawn care, they were like, oh man, Travis really isn't all that awkward. Like I kind of like this now. And I've had people that knew me when I was a kid, people that I grew up with in high school. Now they're commenting on my videos, asking for, basic tips about lawn care. And it's fun because I'm reconnecting with people that I haven't seen or talked to in years. So that's really all part of the fun. So thanks for all that are jumping in on that. Hey, Joe, you just called me a redneck. I think that was you talked about the guy in the car, but if I'm, seeing it correctly, that guy was me. But the rednecks like to go to this next place we're going to talk about. Now, I know there's been some dissent about this place, but we want to bring it up. So we're not going to bring any of our politics into this next place. But Joe sent me this, and I'm really not exactly sure what the point is, Joe. I think I know your point, so I'm going to let you explain it. Tell us why you sent another picture of the old Supply Day Tractor Supply.
So I went to Tractor Supply this week because I was looking for some blackstrap molasses. I really like mixing that in with my fertilizer last year. I saw a good response from it just using that alone towards the end of the season. So I was looking for it. And I honestly don't go into Tractor Supply a whole lot.
It's been a
We
long
have
time since I've been in there.
Yeah, and that's where I got it last year. I hadn't been in there since last probably October it was. And I saw they had some fertilizer and some stuff, but I didn't know that they sold as much fertilizer and grass seed in there. And so I'm like, damn, like I didn't know that they sold that much lawn equipment and just like general lawn gardening kind of stuff in general. And I
Bill,
saw
thank
this.
you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Hey,
Thanks, Bill.
Bill,
You're the man, Bill.
I see that $20. Don't forget, folks, Joe, not to cut you off. Don't forget,
Yeah.
folks, next week is the last show of the month. That will be the giveaway show. Find me in a picture, be the first person to point me out in the chat, and you get a $20 gift card, e-gift card to Lowe's or Home Depot, that of your choice. And Joe, I do want to mention one more thing. We'll talk more about it next week. There is not going to be a show in 2 weeks, okay? No show in 2 weeks. So the first week of the month in June, we're not going to have a show. It's going to be my first week out of school from a long school year, and I'm going to be decompressing and unwinding, and we're not going to do a show that week. So giveaway next week, no show in 2 weeks. Thank you, Bill. Joe, carry on.
So, like I was saying, until Travis rudely interrupted me,
Hey,
you know,
I do what I can.
but so Tractor Supply, they sell a fertilizer, and it's actually a 2905, I think it was. Travis will throw up the other picture here in a second. And I was just curious, 2905, it was like 40 something bucks, 43-pound bag, I think it was. And I was just like curious, like, how does this compare to all the other fertilizers we've looked at this year? So we did look at the Lawn Box, which is an all organic. We looked at that a week or two ago, and you could see there it's $25 a pound of nitrogen.
That's crazy, man.
Which is crazy. You got Travis's good old Expert Gardener is $4.74, and what do you know? There's actually a cheaper fertilizer, and you can get it at Tractor Supply.
Wow.
If it's actually $3.60 per pound of nitrogen. I mean, you can't beat that. I didn't really. Again, we don't get into the catch basin or the signs of lawn care and what's in the fertilizer, but $3.60.
You can't resist, can you, Joe?
I can't. You can't beat that price. I mean, even a catch basin is going to catch that 360. The pennies after that 360. I mean,
it's like a wish. It's like a wishing well. Let it fall in and make a wish.
Yeah, and it's not going to end up in your street or anything. I mean, it's only $3.60. So
hey, you want to hear something?
Go check out Tractor Supply, guys, and you can find there was also I think a 10-10-10, I think also as well. So if you need phosphorus in your lawn, if you do a soil test, if you're into that sort of thing, go check it out. Go check out Tractor Supply.
Hey, I am intrigued by that, but I also too yesterday. Okay, I'm ready for y'all to say, oh, you get your man card revoked for this, or I can't believe you don't do that yourself. But I took my lawnmower blade off yesterday and I ran it down the street it's an old fashioned mom and pop hardware store called Nelson Hardware, just right down the street from me. And they charge it's not even like $8 to get your mower blade sharpened. I handed it to them. They had it done in a few minutes. But in that few minutes, I had a chance to just walk around and kind of scope out some of the inventory. And I saw a fertilizer a lot like this one from Tractor Supply that really intrigued me. They had a 1010 there. They had one. What was this one? You said 2805 or something like that. So
yeah, 2905.
2905. The analysis of this other one was a lot like that. Now, I've been using a 1010 here at the new house because I need all three of those elements on this. I shouldn't say. I'll probably get crucified for that, because you can't say you need it if you've never done a soil test. But this is a new lawn, and I'm trying to get it fed with a balanced fertilizer last year and this year. But I'm thinking that after I get things really nice and established and I feel like things are moving the way I want them to, I might try out that other
Yeah.
fertilizer from the hardware
It's
store that's
budget
right down the
friendly,
street.
so
Now,
it's budget friendly. So go check it out.
well, I think it was a 2905 like that too, and it did have some slow release nitrogen in there for a little bit extended results. So
Okay.
that was pretty appealing as well. So very cool. You
That
know,
hardware store, do they sell catch basins? Because I can't find one in my area. If they have one, can you pick one up for me?
I'm not in the market for catch basins because
Ah.
I've got 3 in my back lawn. But I'm telling you,
Oh, that's
you
right.
know, those hardware stores like that. I was talking to my dad about it. You know, they're the kind of places that they're a dime a dozen. I mean, it's hard to beat with
Yeah.
the big corporate big box stores. So when you've got little places like that, they're a hidden gem, and they're as close to you as the one is to me. You got to find every way you can, even if it means spending a few extra bucks on fertilizer, going to get your mower blade sharpened instead of doing it yourself. You got to find every way you can to go support those people so that those things don't continue to die off like they have in a lot of other small towns and big towns across the country too. So that's probably where they have a triple 10. I shouldn't say I will go get a bag of that sometime this season for another round of that. And then I'll switch over. I'm looking at switching over to that 2905. I can't remember exactly if that was analysis, but it seems like it was that one. I might switch over to that later on in the summer. Now, the bag is a lot more expensive, but I would just be doing real light applications, and it covers like 15,000 square feet. So it's one of those bags that I could probably use. Shoot, I could probably get 4 applications out of it if I'm just putting down, around a half a pound of nitrogen per thousand or even less than that. So options, I'm all about options. So probably going to check some of those out when I go in there next time. Yeah.
When you throw down your fertilizer, what do you do? Once you do spread it out, do you clean it off your driveway, your pavements? Like, do you do stuff like that? Because I'm just curious. I don't have a catch basin in my yard, so I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna kill you, Joe. I'm gonna kill you. Hey, actually, Joe. Okay, it's not a. I did a video this past weekend. Okay, and it's not a video. It's not a how-to video. It's not about.
Travis nailed it, guys.
I nailed
Nailed
it. Well, it just depends on who you ask, Joe.
By the way, 35 people in the chat. You better nail that goddamn.
Joe, I nailed it, but it depends on who you ask if I nailed it because, I guess I should just give every single last detail to the umpteenth degree about how I apply fertilizer to my lawn.
I picked up the bag of fertilizer. I cut open the bag of fertilizer.
I looked inside the bag. I
looked
played
at it.
around
I
with the
smelled
fertilizer
it,
granules.
and it
I
smelled like
it.
success,
And then I
and
went
it
like
smelled
this,
good.
and then I went, woo, that stinks. Come on, man. It's like, how do we nitpick as much as we do in everybody across all genres, across all niches online? I mean, it is like nitpick city for some people. And then the nitpicking leads to people being used examples for the wrong reason. Yes.
Travis looks like a choir boy here. He's like,
Kind of look like the old Don, right? I'm using my hands.
Yeah.
Oh, way too much.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, what do I do? So I did that video this past week, Joe, and some folks just keep punching down, man. They just keep punching down and using me as an example when they're I think they have misdirected attention, because I can't give every last detail about how to apply your fertilizer in your lawn. Now, I have done videos in the past that explain more in detail about how I apply fertilizer to my lawn, and I specifically and intentionally make sure that I am telling folks to not only be a lawn enthusiast, but also to be a responsible lawn enthusiast.
Right. And remember, guys, lawn enthusiasts on the pyramid of, lawn care, that's in the middle there. We covered that in like the second or third episode of our weekly live cast that we do here. So remember, lawn enthusiasts, pros, and then you got your DIYers down there. So
Well, Joe, I want to play a video. This was from 3 years ago. This will
OG
I mean,
Travis.
this is an OG video. Hey, don't say anything. Let's just listen, okay?
And after I get it all spread out on my lawn, you want to make sure that you blow or sweep or whatever you got to do
What are you doing there?
to get whatever got on your sidewalks or driveway in the street back into your lawn. Be a responsible lawn care fanatic and make sure you minimize how much of that stuff runs off into the waterway, especially because of the phosphorus in a 10-10-10 product. Make sure you blow everything back into your lawn. A step you just cannot forget in this process.
Oh my gosh. I am just a terrible steward of lawn care, Joe. I'm just terrible. I blow my stuff back into the yard so it doesn't make it into our gutter system with our stormwater and our drainage. And my gosh, I tell you what, I've never heard of it being such a bad deal to plan, like poor stewardship and irresponsible, Joe, to plan your fertilizing applications around rain. I have made it abundantly clear in my content that you don't want to apply your fertilizer before expected heavy downpour rainfalls or thunderstorms, because you can have some of that runoff if you do that. But certainly there is nothing wrong with applying your fertilizer before a nice, steady to moderate rain to get it watered down into the canopy to come in contact with the soil.
Yeah.
And if you mow before you apply your fertilizer, you're opening that canopy up a little bit more so that that fertilizer has a better chance to fall down into it as opposed to be floating on top of the canopy. And then when you get rain, that would increase the chances of it flowing off in the runoff. But I guess I've just got to get more detail oriented, Joe.
You didn't say that though in your video, so we all made
know.
assumptions
I
that
know.
that happened. But remember, guys, don't be a prick. Okay.
It's just I apply. Okay, so folks, if you're wondering, so in that video, I applied fertilizer, and I just showed results, 1 week results.
Nailed it.
I nailed it, man. I nailed it. I applied fertilizer
Nailed it.
on a Saturday.
That thumbnail just like makes me want to get out of my seat and run a marathon. I'm telling you.
I applied fertilizer on a Saturday, and in about 24 hours, I received a nice, steady ½ inch of rain. Ching, ching, right? Later on that day, we continued to have just nice, steady rainfall.
You know why you got that ½ inch. It was because of that thumbnail. You're just like,
So 24 hours after I applied my fertilizer, I got just less than an inch of rainfall. Great, right? Did not see rain for another 1, 2, 3, 4 days. But apparently I just got way too much rainfall on that round of fertilizer, and I'm being a poor steward, and all that is running off in our stormwater. All of it is getting into my catch basins and draining out into the street. And I am just the worst possible person in lawn care when there are lawn care professionals out there daily spreading God knows what in chemicals and fertilizers across not one 4,000 square foot lawn, but 20 to 30 lawns.
It's totally going
And
off the rails.
I am the one that becomes the punching bag. I don't get it. Misdirected attention. But I can't even win by cleaning out my catch basins, Joe. They have a sump in the bottom for a reason. You know what a sump is? It collects materials in the bottom, like grass clippings, like leaves, like fertilizer granules. It all catches in the sump, and it has this little like collar around the outlet or inlet, the outlet, to where it flows out, to where it blocks a lot of that stuff from getting into the perforated underground drain lines that, not perforated, corrugated, which would really be hard for stuff to slide through. Most stuff gets caught up in that corrugated. But my gosh, I just screwed the pooch, Joe. I've screwed the pooch. What do I do?
Grass Thief, how's that Bermuda doing? I know he's got Bermuda in Jersey. He got it from Tuckahoe. So comment below. And 40 people in the chat, people, make sure you nail that smash and like button, whatever it's called, like button, and people comment. Don't be afraid. We're all friends here. We don't.
Are we, Joe? Are we?
Don't
all
be a
friends?
prick.
Are
And
we all
just
friends?
just like Travis said, he nailed it.
I nailed
it.
it.
Guys.
I nailed it.
That video was, I mean, it's brilliant. It was. Anyway,
I don't know. I'm just left perplexed. You know,
this show, like what we talked about before this show, and what we're doing now is, woo.
So here's the thing.
I love it, but that's what makes us authentic. Is we're just like having a conversation. We're talking off the cuff.
What's up, Manuel?
You know, and we're having a good time. So
hey,
you know, and
I've talked about this sports card channel that I really like to watch, and I've heard feedback about other creators online about sports card radio because man, they come out swinging all the time. But what this other creator said about them is you can't fault sports card radio because they punch up all the time. Too many people in lawn care, and you know who I'm talking about, punch down all the time. And I have a feeling that if some people would just turn up their volume and open their eyes a little bit more instead of watching what their little fanboys send to them as a little tip, and they actually paid attention to other things across Budget Lawns, then they would find out I am the least of their concerns. But I know it makes them feel better because, as their fanboys say, I live in their heads rent-free, Joe, rent-free. And it feels so good. Oh, yeah. Not to mention, Joe, I'm having a hard time understanding their premise behind everything that they bitched and moaned about the other day because
I think the fanboys just dropped off. We went from 41 to 37. They're probably like, freak this guy.
Screw this.
Screw Travis because he nailed that video and we just got it shoved in our mouth again.
Hey,
that came out completely wrong. I didn't know what to say there, so whatever.
Well, here's why I just don't. I think they're grasping at straws to make an example out of me to distract or disguise their own issues, their own inner demons of being professional lawn care people and causing more harm to the environment than this one old average Joe who knows turf from Arkansas will ever do in his lawn with no fungicides, no pesticides, rarely any herbicides, a couple rounds of pre-emergent a year, maybe a third. Haven't used a post-emergent in 5 years, but they'll make up some reason why, oh, you think that validates this as far as your fertilizer usage goes? Cry me a wine river, because when it comes to fertilizer, I can't figure it out. Cry me a river. I can't figure it out because I follow the University of Arkansas Extension Office for all of my Bermuda grass needs. It's right down the street from me. And Joe, here's what I read from the University of Arkansas, okay?
Many different types of fertilizer.
Hold on.
Wow, that's a lot of words right there.
Fertilizer spills over turf usually result in death to the affected area. Another consideration to make when fertilizing is the weather. Although it is appropriate to lightly water your lawn after fertilization, do not apply fertilizer to lawns immediately following or preceding a heavy rainfall event to reduce the risk of fertilizer runoff or leaching. Okay? I've said that over and over. I don't do it before heavy downpour rains. I have to know that it's going to be a nice steady rain. I don't want to waste my money. I'm Budget Lawns for after all. If I apply something to my lawn, I want it staying in my grass. Now, let's take that a step further. After applying fertilizers, it is important to clean up. First, sweep or blow any fertilizer off your driveway, sidewalks, and streets back into the lawn. This will help protect water supplies since these surfaces are impervious. Oh, I do that. That's great news. When fertilizer is correctly applied to lawns, there is little risk of runoff. Turf affects the overland flow process of water to such a degree that runoff from lawns is insignificant and infrequent. Nutrient concentrations in runoff from turf are low because most chemicals applied to turf grass are trapped within the leaf, thatch, and root zone areas and do not contaminate water supplies. Wash your spreader off over your lawn, which I do, and then yes, I blow it off one last time before I put it in the garage. After you have emptied the spreader and swept any fertilizer from impervious surfaces back into the lawn. Joe, call me crazy, but I'm still trying to figure out how I have been irresponsible and a poor steward to not just the lawn care community, but to my subscribers, my followers, who apparently I've been giving terrible information to this whole time. Joe, help me! I'm gonna lose it.
There's only one thing you need to do after this: drop the mic and walk away.
I don't know.
Right.
I guess they teach different things at schools like OSU compared to Arkansas. I don't freaking know. I don't know. Or you have to own a fertilizer company at some point and let it.
Is that OSU? Is that the Oklahoma State?
No, it's the one up there. You know, Ohio something. The Buckeyes.
The Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh man, Joe, Pandora's box keeps getting open.
We just opened it up even more.
Yeah, but you know, Joe, we haven't mentioned any names
tonight.
We
didn't open up Pandora's box.
The old
catch basin box.
The old stewardship and 4 R's conversation can be had without making an example out of the nobody. Like, I should be the non-factor, right, Joe? We should be the non-factors. We should be the ones who aren't in the bullseye of the dartboard, right? We should be the non-factors, but somehow we've become the ones that move the needle because we speak on levels that people just understand and don't try to puff our chests out in frustration and anger that, you know, the little guys that we're punching down on are making bigger waves than we are. It's just, I don't know. Joe, let's move on. Because we got to keep going. The train has to keep going down the tracks. Holy smokes, Joe, you got videos tonight. Let's go to one of your videos. Joe has 2 hot takes tonight, folks. Joe has 2 hot takes, and Joe, I have no idea what you're doing on this one, so please explain this one to me, okay?
All right. So this is what drives me probably, I don't know if this is the proper way to put it, but the most nuts out of everything is people walking backwards when they weed eat, they string trim, they edge, whatever you want to call it. I call it weed whacking. Apparently, it's a very controversial term, weed whacking. But just like as you could see here, I walk forward. I do not walk backward. I just it drives me nuts seeing people walk backwards.
Don't touch your microphone, Joe.
Sorry. Just like the old Santa Claus is Coming to Town cartoon, you put one foot in front of the other, and soon
Joe, I walk
out the door.
I walk, but backwards.
Seriously,
doesn't it have to do with the directional spin of your trimmer?
Screw that. That's what a shield's there for, first of all. And if you're a man, you could take a couple hits to your leg.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm throwing shots tonight. Fuck this. I mean, seriously. I just when I see people walk backwards, every time I cringe.
Hey, Joe,
I want somebody just to fall on their ass. Like, seriously, just fall on your goddamn ass, and you'll actually probably change your mind. I've been cutting lawns for years. I've whacked many lawns.
You could tell just in the way you're handling the. I'm not going to go with what I was going to say. You could tell the way you're handling your piece of equipment there. You've done this before because I've seen some of my friends that used to take care of lawns for a living.
What's that? A Taylor Swift reference? Doghouse.
See, John said the same thing. I have a steadier cut walking backwards too. I've tried it forwards, and for some reason, I just move a little bit steadier. But Joe,
you are wrong, Okie Lawn. I'm not wrong. You're the problem. It's not me.
Different strokes for different folks. Yes, George.
Oh,
wait, Joe. We cannot have. I'm going to take that back, George. We can't have a difference of opinions on which way to walk when we're weed eating our lawns.
There's only one way to walk.
There's one way or the freaking hard way.
Get out of here. Because you know why? Because I'm the lawn pro of weed whacking.
And
I say what goes.
Joe handles
And
the
I'm going to
shaft
call
better
out
than
everybody out there on my hot take.
He handles the shaft better than anybody else. Joe's got one more. Hey, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so,
jokes, folks. Jokes. Different strokes for different folks. I'm going to keep walking backwards. I find it easier for me that way. But Joe,
when you fall on your ass, you let me know.
Joe, I'm actually very impressed with your edging skills with a string trimmer. Very impressed. Hey, but let's show them this next one because this one's got a little this one has a little bit of audio to it, Joe. So let me get this one queued up for you. I told Joe it's a lot harder for me to do videos here, but he keeps still. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Audio. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Look at Joe moving. I don't like the hat, but you do you, Joe. I'm never wearing a hat like that.
You see how I'm walking? I'm always walking forward. I'm not walking backwards. Watch, I'll turn here. I'm walking forward. I'm going in the other direction. I'm always walking forward. That's what I'm trying to tell people. See, I'm never going backwards. I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go down this edge.
Joe, we're watching. You don't have to tell us. I'm kidding. Keep going.
I'm still walking forward. Yeah, this is my commentary. This is my Kevin Harlan moment, okay? And so as you can see here, I go all the way to the fence line. I'm still walking forward. I'm weed whacking around the fence here. I'm still walking. I should have sped this up. It's too fucking slow.
No, but, it's good. It's good.
But and then you can see I'm gonna come down the driveway here. I'm still walking forward. I'm not walking backward one bit. I'm going forward, and that's what my dad always taught me, to always keep walking forward. You're not going back to go edge something and then go edge this and that. You're always going in a forward motion. You're not going back and forth.
So
so fuck off, people, for walking backwards.
So a friend of mine used to have a lawn care business where he would mow, edge, and blow, and when he would be short a man, it was just him and one of his buddies, and if his buddy couldn't help him one day, he would holler at me and be like, "Hey man, you got some free time to come edge and trim some lawns?" And so I'd help him out, but I had never.
Fuck the ear protection, people. Like, come on, be a man. I wear shorts when I weed whack. You guys probably wear like jeans or some shit, Yeah, wear shorts, people.
Okay.
Sorry. It's a great show.
Joe told me last night. So Joe went to the Phillies game last night, and then he had a trip for work today. So he was like, "I'm going to be worn out tomorrow." But I think Joe must have had like 3 cups of coffee.
I feel good.
I edge with a string trimmer, but what I'll tell you is my friend that did that, when I went and worked with him, he really explained to me how, like what you were just saying, the efficiencies of making sure you have a route in your lawn. Yep. Like there's no wasted steps. You're not backstepping. You're not doubling back on a spot that you've already been over. You have to have a route, because that's the quickest way to be most efficient on each lawn and get to the next one. Because, a lot of these guys are trying to crank out. He was trying to do, even as a one-man band, there were days where he was trying to do 10 or 15 lawns a day by himself, which
one day I did 15 lawns myself. It was like 95, 90, almost got up to 100 degrees. And I did 15 lawns myself at weed whack, blow, mowed everything with the X mark. And yeah, I mean, it's all about efficiency. That's what I tried to tell like my dad's workers when I was starting to stop once I graduated college. It's about, you got to move, you got to keep moving. You got to be efficient, because the faster you go, the more money he's making. I mean, they were paid by the hour, so probably some people are going to drag it out a little bit.
Hey, let me say one thing to DeMay. DeMay, here's why I do this, okay? Your fans, which, you are the company you keep. Birds of the feather flock together, guilty by association, any one of those phrases you want to use. Your fans are the reason why I do this. Not because of you, Matt and Ray. Your fans are the reason why. It is so fun to watch this little YouTube channel of Budget Lawns get under their skin. And they relay everything to you guys, I'm sure, because I knew when Michael Selly, or whatever his name was, on Sunday morning was going after me about my catch basins, I knew right away I was going to be on Joe Knows Turf. It's so predictable. they're so predictable. It is exactly like taking candy from a baby. I do this for my own shits and giggles. Like, it is so predictable. So don't take offense to it, you, Matt and Ray, but y'all follow up with it. So it just stokes the fire. Like, it's just fun to watch them squirm. They are just squirmy little worms that don't know how the game is played, and they can't resist. And they think when I come back at them that I'm the one that can't resist. It's just part of the fun, and they can't figure that out. They can't figure it out. So give them that information. You know, I didn't care one bit about my video. I didn't think y'all were being harsh or mean or rude or disrespectful. It's just funny to stoke the fire of y'all's little fanboys, because y'all have y'all's little vacuum, and those guys cannot let things go. They cannot let budget loans go. They like to make fun of me. They like to ridicule me, all that stuff. And I just use it as more ammunition.
The only person who's allowed to make fun of Travis is me, because I'm the one that started it. You know, go if you need a good laugh, go check out my mustard holders. It's a great video. But like, seriously, like, I think me and you have like the most respect for what they do, Ray, Matt, and Ryan.
If you're still there, Ryan, I said on last week's show that before our little, I don't know if you saw it, I don't know how much of my stuff you watch, but I said on last week's show that before the little escapades of the holidays went down, that you guys were by far the best, most informative live stream in the lawn care space out there. And I would still say that. And I'm joining in on the fun because your fans, and maybe it's all, we really got him because we're doing it for fun too. Maybe it is, but if that's the case, we're all having fun, okay? It's all having fun. Okay. Hey, thanks for jumping in, Ryan. Good to see you. Yeah. I'm the Ohio State. I'm lurking around in the Grass Factor live streams quite often, because I really do get good information there. So if you're not watching the Grass Factor and you want to know real turf grass stuff, go watch them. If you want to see them use me as an example sometimes, good, bad, or indifferent, go watch them. I'm not going to tell people not to go watch them, because when it comes to turf grass science, they're the best on YouTube, okay? And I think they're more alike Joe and I in personality when it comes to busting each other's balls than people think we are. I think there's a disconnect and misconnection between how much alike we actually are.
If you actually want to see a real doctor, go check them out. If you don't want to watch a Friday Night Live,
see you, Ryan. Hey, thanks for jumping in.
Go check them out. And oh shit, I just lost my other train of thought. Who was the other person? And if you don't like a scam artist like JP out there, go check them out as well.
Hey, his video that he posted yesterday was a lot like my last two videos. Not saying.
Was he like this? Oh, I'm gonna look into the camera like this, and I'm gonna talk to you.
Well, it was talking about fertilizing and how, when it's time to fertilize and dog pee and all that kind of stuff. And look, it's pretty generic information, but this is how YouTube works, folks. That video that I did about when to fertilize and looking at dog pee and all that kind of stuff, it popped. It got caught up in the Google search list, and it popped for like 16,000 views. So any good creator, guess what they're going to do across a genre of videos? They're going to be looking at what topics are hitting at the right time. And if you see something hitting, you go do a video to almost mirror that. Yeah. That's the way it works, because YouTube's picking up on certain things and keywords and search terms, and Google's doing the same thing. They're all interconnected. So if you see videos that start coming out and they're all about the same thing, probably because somebody did one and it took off. And then somebody was like, oh, dang, I'm going to try to piece something together similar to that and use some of the same keywords and tags and hashtags and all that stuff. And then maybe it'll pop off as well. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Hey, budget water. You're from New Jersey, Bill. What do you not say water? Do you not say it?
He's a fake Jersey boy. I don't know. No, I'm
Oh
just
man,
kidding. I don't know.
we just plummeted in folks
Yeah,
watching.
all the fanboys they just all jumped off. Ryan said, "Everyone get on, assemble!" And then they were like, "All right, he made his point. He nailed it. He nailed it." And then they were like, "All right, we're going."
And then
Oh, we just popped up again a little
and then
bit. I don't know.
and then people wonder why the thumbnail for tonight was non-factors, because it's gonna get some eyeballs, people. That's how it works.
It's gonna get spicy.
It's gonna get some eyeballs. Hey, so Okie Lawn Guy, I feel like most of these lawn YouTube channels are just a you-know-what measuring stick. Are you talking about a D measuring contest? Like, not Dallas, the big D?
He's talking about a prick. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, so anyways, guys, look, we've said it last week. Pat, these are not apologies. Folks just got to realize this stuff gets pretty stale sometimes. It gets really stale, and we're here to have fun. If you're here to have fun, bust balls,
Look at that.
make jokes,
you, Pat.
you're in the right place. If you're here for fuzzy feelings and goody two-shoe, kumbaya, we're all in the same community garbage, might not be your live stream. And that's why I've always liked the Grass Factor, because I ain't about that jazz either. So that's why I always lurked around on the shows, because guess what? They're speaking my language.
They're the catch basin of the YouTube lawn care
I know.
space. They catch everything. All right, let's move on.
But Joe, I nailed it. Did I?
You nailed it.
Did I nail the video or the live stream or both?
Everything.
Oh.
You nail everything in life, Travis.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I will say this. Joe and I both came on. He told me he was going to be.
Shit. I'm feeling good. I told you I got a second wind, and I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep now.
Okay, here's a good question. Somebody said, "Do you like Ryan Knorr?" I look. A lot of people don't know, but my background is in broadcast news, so editing, video work, on-camera work, on-air talent, that kind of stuff. Ryan Knorr is an incredible storyteller. He's an incredible videographer. He is incredible at the YouTube game. He got in at the right time and he's capitalized on it. He knows a lot about lawn care. I like Ryan Knorr. I don't watch his content because I just don't resonate with it. That doesn't mean there's
You're
anything.
a warm grass guy. I mean, he's more of a.
I don't resonate with it. It doesn't resonate with me. He has a lot of time to spend in his lawn and test plots and trying out all these different things and equipment for you guys. And I don't have that. I am a husband. He is too. And I'm a father of 2 kids and I'm a teacher. This is our last week of school right now. Well, this week, and we have to go a few days next week. And my gas tank is running on empty. We have been burning the candle on both ends for the last month trying to wrap up the school year. And the lawn has not been a huge priority. So it's hard for me to follow a lot of the YouTube channels where the lawn is the priority. It is the main thing in their lives because it's not in mine. So it just doesn't resonate with me. But yes, I do like him, but I gravitate more to the channels that are living kind of similar lives that I am. And it's no knock on anyone else. It's just, I like to see how they're juggling things. How are you juggling your family? How are you juggling your job? How are you juggling your time in the lawn? And I get ideas and inspired by that kind of stuff. So those are the channels that I watch. I teach probably one of the most challenging grades out there. I teach 6th and 7th graders in middle school. And then I teach one class that's 8th through 11th. Next year, I'll teach 2 classes that are 8th and 9th graders, but I'm teaching mainly middle school and junior high. And it's an exhausting time of year, but it's just so worth it. It's, you do things in life because it's fulfilling. You get to make a difference. And I feel like not just teaching makes a difference, but I feel like some of these escapades we have here on YouTube make a difference as well and bring people together that are like-minded, similar interests and hobbies, and we all get to share that together. So it has a bit of fulfillment to it, just like my job does. Do I think lawn stripes are overrated? I don't have cool season, so Bermuda grass is not a good striping grass. So I prefer more the carpet look. Like when you're mowing to go down on one pass and then back on the same pass and then down and back to give it all one nice color, one nice shade of green. I like the carpet look. Hey, so George, hey, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate that.
45 people in the chat. Let's go, people. Smash the like button. And again, if you're watching, please feel free to comment, ask us a question if we want. And we'll go eventually get to it. But let's get on to our next topic.
Hold on, Joe.
Yeah.
How about baking soda? I've never used baking soda on crabgrass. Is that an Ole Miss? Is that an Ole Miss, Ben? Have you been in? Oh my gosh, Ben, Ole Miss, woo pig suey. Hey, last thing on my teaching. Last thing on my teaching job, because I try to separate my profession with my hobby. I try to separate the two. But if I had a son or a daughter that was an incoming sixth grader, I would say this. I would say, just listen. Just listen. Be respectful. That's all. That's really the only advice I would give. It's a challenging time for a lot of students. A lot of these students, especially going into middle school, went through a lot of their elementary education through COVID, and it's a challenging time for them and the teachers. And I do my best every day to just listen to the students. And if they listen back, it makes the classroom environment and all of our time spent in the classroom so much more beneficial and fruitful. They learn, I learn, we all win if we just listen to each other. That would be my one piece of advice. Joe, where are we going next? Were you already ready for your 5 with 5?
No, I thought. Do you want to do the second hot take? It's not going to take long, but
what was your second hot take? Oh yes, Joe. Let me cue this up.
I think it would be good to get everyone's opinion on this too.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
So.
No, I think I know where you're going with this. Joe has another hot take. Joe, what is this one?
All right. So this was my son's first year with Coach Pitch, and his asshole coach probably is not watching this right now. But sometimes sports aren't for everybody, and we really wanted our son to try every sport, if he wanted to. And he tried soccer in the fall time, and he really enjoyed it. He really loved soccer. So the team last year that he was on, they were called the Bad Apples.
Mm-hmm.
And now this
like the
year,
Bad News Bears.
So this year they were another minor league team. They're the Durham Bulls, and they're in North Carolina. And my son, he started out not really liking it. He's a little shy when it comes to interacting with people, and so we told him, look, you have to at least go play at least 10 games, not practices, at least 10 games. And they play a shit ton of games. Twice a week they usually play, and it's Coach Pitch. This is the first year of them actually doing Coach Pitch. Last year was T-ball, and he didn't play last year, but so this year was his first true year of baseball. And we told the coach, like, look, we gave him 10 tries. And of course, everything's through an app. They have, it's called Team Snap. It's an app where you have all the games on there. You can tell them if you're attending. There's a chat so you can talk to the coach or other parents that are in there. And so we messaged him and just said, look, he's probably not going to attend anymore. If he changes his mind, we'll come. He still has his uniform and everything. And literally the next day I go into the app and the whole team thing was gone. His schedule, everything was, I'm like, what the hell happened? And I asked my wife, and she went into the app too, and she didn't see anything. The schedule was gone. The chat was gone. And I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, seriously, it's freaking Coach Pitch. And what if he actually changed his mind? I mean, and wanted to play again. Like, don't do that. Don't delete us that we paid money to our Parks and Recreation for our son to play. Like, seriously, grow up a little bit. And I know he's probably not watching. I really don't care if he is, because you don't do this. You're out there to try and encourage kids to play. And whether my son liked it or not, I just thought it was really wrong. You don't do that. You don't delete it. And if we wanted to change your mind, we could change our mind, and I put this up there because we like to talk about everything. We like to talk about real life, stuff as well that's going on in our own lives. And I just thought this just really struck a nerve both with me and my wife. And it just wasn't right.
my opinion is that his best answer would have been, "Hey, look, we understand. We would love to have you back."
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. We didn't
he-
even get a message back. We didn't even get anything back from him saying, "Hey, good luck. Hopefully he changes his mind." Nothing. It was just zip. You're done. You're not on this app anymore.
And so I think that could have been done, but I am seeing some other things in the chat. On the flip side of that, because I want to play devil's advocate, is
and Ben has a point there. Like I'm trying to be tough on him to say, look, you started something, you need to finish it. But at the same time, I'm not going to push my kid, all through tooth and nails to finish something if he doesn't really honestly he's going to put 100%.
He's how old now?
He's 6. I mean, he does other things. He
Six.
plays soccer. He played basketball. He plays the piano, and he actually is playing the piano really well.
He's
really
not. He's
taking a liking for
he's
it,
not a video game kid. It doesn't sound like.
No, we don't do screen time with them with that. So
and there might have been it might have been one of those situations too where he thought, look, I'm not going to sit here and coach this team and get them all ready to go for games and then have this wrench thrown in the whole thing because this guy's kid decided he wants to come back, and it might have been kind of the unsportsmanlike thing to do. He probably could have been a little bit more tactful about it, but he might have just been cutting his losses and said, you know what, you don't want to play, fine, see ya. But it sounds like he's doing so many other things, and that's the hard part that I struggle with because I was an athlete growing up, played soccer, baseball, basketball, golf, cross country, and track. And these kids these days has so many different options that I'm so concerned that if I get my kids started too early and go too hard on them, because my parents were hard on me, but there just weren't as many things to do when I was a kid. But if I get them going too early and I'm too hard on them, that they'll quit earlier and they'll resent me because they didn't have a choice. That's the thing I struggle with, because I started sports at a young age, but we also didn't have all the other avenues to pursue that they do.
I'm kind of shocked at some of the people in the chat, but hey, I mean, everyone has their opinion. I have my opinion, so I respect that. And he's not one of those kids. He's not going to be one of those kids. We definitely, the one thing we don't encourage is video games. I mean, we might play Xbox Connect, like bowling, every once in a while, but he's not using a controller. He's not playing shooting games. He's not playing, football, Madden, whatever. He's outside. He's an active kid, and that's all I can ask for. Did I want him to finish the season? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, I'm not going to keep dragging him to something that he's not going to just. He doesn't really want to put his whole effort into it. And
I don't think you would have had this as a hot take if it were just as handled as simply as this. I'm a big communicator, even when people wrong me, or no matter what. I feel like if somebody sends me a message, no matter if I agree or disagree with it, that I owe them the courtesy of a response. So I think your mindset would have been totally different.
Yeah,
if you would have gotten back, hey, look, totally understand. We hate to see him go, but once the season gets going, there's not going to be an opportunity for him to jump back on the team. Like, just been transparent and honest with you. That might have resulted in a different. Yeah,
completely agree. I mean, if he could have handled it 100% differently. And honestly, he really didn't miss a ton of playing anyway, because we've had rain. Almost seemed like almost all the other games that he missed, and a lot of things were getting canceled anyway. So it is what it is. I mean, he really enjoyed soccer. I think soccer is going to be his main sport. It's a funny story. His last game of the year, I'm sitting there, and there's a guy sitting in front of me. I don't know if I told the story on here or not, but there was a guy sitting in front of me, had Jaworski's a golf club on there. And I didn't think anything of it. I didn't put two to two together. And I kept hearing this guy's voice, yelling at his grandson out there to play when he was playing soccer. And I'm like, shit, that's Ron Jaworski. And Ron Jaworski's just like sitting right in front of me, Eagles legend. And I didn't know this whole time that his grandson was on my son's soccer team in the whole time. So it was pretty cool to see an Eagles legend at a soccer game in my town. But yeah, I mean, I was the kind of person, I tried everything. I mean, I did basketball, I did baseball, I did 1 year of soccer. I wish I got into soccer more. But basketball was my main sport. Out of all the sports, I like basketball. I stopped playing baseball because I just wasn't as passionate about it, and I was more passionate about basketball. I did karate as a kid. I got my black belt when I was in karate.
Hey, so Pat made a good point, and I think some other folks made this. Pat said, as a coach at
football
that
is
age,
life.
he is supposed to be encouraging kids, not shutting them out. And here's why I tend to agree with that, because I grew up in a tough love family. Like, you started it, you're finishing it, no quitting, all that kind of stuff. And my dad was my baseball coach, my basketball coach. He played golf with me in the summers, all that kind of stuff. And he was super. His expectations were set very high for me and my brothers. But because he and my mom were both pretty, I don't want to say hard in a bad sense. They were, the tough love was what we thrived on. So it was good for us. That's not good for every kid, especially a kid that is not your kid. So it is the coach's job. The coach can be as hard as they want to on their own kids on the team, but it's not their job to be hard on the other kids on the team, especially at 6.
Yeah.
As you get older, that changes.
He actually should have been harder on his son, because his son was the goofball on the team that was knocking everybody's hat off and spitting and shit like that. So he should have been really harder on his son. But anyway,
hey Joe,
that was the second hot take of mine for the night. So
see, you know what?
Great discussion, guys.
This is what it's all about, because
this is what makes us different, Travis. This is why we nailed it tonight.
See, and so Joe, this is what it's all about, because you came in with the hot take. And you were probably driven by your emotions more than anything, because it's your son, for crying out loud. Not only your son, but you feel like you got shafted from a coach who ghosted you, who you paid for this program, but maybe you have a little perspective now, and I think you do, to say, okay, yeah, the folks in the chat, I agree with this, but I still hold strong to this opinion on this point of the conversation. And that's what it's all about, people. That's how it works. Hey, Joe started a new segment a couple weeks ago. We said tonight that we weren't going to go as long tonight, because I'm just pooped. Joe's pooped. But we can't go anywhere without our 5. What are you calling this, Joe? I like to call it the 5 with 5, or the 5 at 5, or whatever.
Or the top 5 with 5 to go.
I thought of a topic for you, Joe, and this might be something we do in the future, not tonight, because I think you already have them planned. But hey, I agree. Okie Lawn Guy, I agree. I completely agree. That's how I parent. So I'm totally on board with that mindset from other parents. We couldn't agree more on that topic. See you, Rusty. See you, Rusty. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for all your support of the Budget Wooder Show and Budget Lawns. Joe, here's a topic maybe for our 5 with 5 one time. The 5 things that you find yourself doing as a parent that you hated your parents did when you were a kid.
Okay. That's a good topic.
I've got some in my head. And for example, here's one, just so you know what direction I'm going. Either in or out. You either go outside or you come inside. In or out. Shut the door. Oh, because I said so. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Stew on that one, and tell me when you're ready for that, for our our topic for this segment one evening.
Yeah.
What you got tonight?
All right. So we did. So if you guys know, if you're new to this segment, it's going to be, I call it the top 5 with 5 to go.
You'll figure it out, Ben. Don't worry. You'll figure it out, because I find myself cringing every time I do them now. Sorry, Joe. Explain that again.
No, you're fine. So I listen to a sports talk. They do a top 5 at 5 every day. Their producer, he just puts together like a general list of top 5 of something. So for tonight's top 5 with 5 to go, it's my top 5 favorite TV shows. We did movies a couple of weeks ago. I held off with the shows one until tonight. So coming in at number 5 for me, kind of more for my area, is the show Boardwalk Empire.
So you're doing 5 TV shows.
Top 5 TV shows, and this is ranked from number 5 to number 1. So number 1 being my most favorite, or my favorite. So number 5 comes in at Boardwalk Empire. It was on HBO. Steve Buscemi, great show. Takes place in Atlantic City, so there was a lot of relevance to my area. They talked a lot about different things that go on in my towns around me. So it was a great show. HBO, you couldn't go wrong watching it. I think it ran for 5 seasons, and it was a great run, great show. Number 4, Breaking Bad. I think just about everyone's probably seen an episode or heard of Breaking Bad. No, other than Travis. Whatever, Travis.
I don't do series. I do like true crime. All right, go ahead.
Well,
don't
all
let
right,
me mess you up.
So Breaking Bad's number 4. Number 3 for me is House. I loved House. I love Hugh Laurie. I thought he's a great actor. I think he did a great job on that series. And again, House takes place in Princeton, in New Jersey. So again, close to me. Princeton, and if you've never been to Princeton, it's a beautiful town. Very, very nice town. So number 3 is House. Number 2 is The Big Bang Theory. I would watch that religiously when it was on TV. Seen every episode. I know. You hate this topic, so.
No, you're just naming shows I've never watched any of.
Oh, jeez. All right, and then number 1 is, again, it takes kind of place near me.
Me too, Okie Lawn Guy Docs.
In Scranton, Pennsylvania. You kind of can guess it. The Office ran. I could watch it over and over again. The Office is just a great show, and I mean Michael Scott. I mean you can't go wrong with him. And honorable mentions, by the way, Dexter was another one I used to love watching back in the day, and The Walking Dead until it really got boring. I used to watch the first couple seasons were really good, but those were my 2 honorable mentions for my top 5 TV shows with top 4 or 5 to go.
Okie Lawn Guy, let me see if I can wake you up, okay? Joe, those were great shows. Thank you.
Are you going to name like Game of Thrones?
No.
Or,
Okie Lawn Guy.
CIS or whatever it's called.
Said he's a documentary fan. So
okay.
I'm going to name 5 documentaries, and I sure hope some of you have seen these because they are phenomenal. Okay?
Gosh.
Look, the one where Free Solo about Alex Honnold was trash. It was trash.
Really?
Compared to the Dawn Wall. If you've not seen the Dawn Wall, another rock climbing documentary.
The Yawn Wall?
Dawn Wall. The
Yawn.
Dawn Wall. Okay? How about The Battered Bastards of Baseball about Kurt Russell and his dad, Bing Russell, who started the minor league independent team out in Portland? Dawn Wall. Okay. Yes, good. Dawn Wall. The Battered Bastards of Baseball. How about Bob Ross, Happy Accidents? That's a good one. Now, I will say that this is probably the best documentary I have seen in a long time. And I'm just going to stop right here. We're not going to go to 5. The Pez Outlaw. Who has seen The Pez Outlaw? Freaking phenomenal. The reenactments with the real dude that the whole documentary is about is incredible. The storytelling is incredible. It is amazing. The reenactments, the storytelling, the colors, this Willy Wonka and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory feel, it is freaking incredible. Go watch the Dawn Wall, the Battered Bastards of Baseball, the Bob Ross documentary, and the Pez Outlaw. Promise you, yes, best one I've ever seen thus far. It is like, I don't recommend documentaries.
What is that on, that Pez Outlaw?
It's on Netflix. It is freaking incredible.
It's not on the Grass Factor channel?
No, it's not. It's one of those, like, when you're doing documentaries or storytelling about true events, it all comes down to character. You have to have a good character. And this dude is a phenomenal character. I mean, his personality, his ability to recount events is.
When you say documentary, you're not talking about like they did the Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix about like it was like a dramatization of him. Like, would you consider that a documentary?
So here's the thing, documentary,
or like a series about somebody. Would you call that?
No, they're a docu-series. I'm talking about a full-length documentary, typically an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes up to 2 hours. But they're like 5 modes of documentary storytelling or 6, but they include different things, archive footage, they include observational storytelling techniques, they include reenactments, all that kind of stuff.
Did you see the Murdaugh murders?
I
Did
do
you
want
hear
to
about
watch that one.
That's really good.
I'm telling you, Okie Lawn Guy is not kidding. You need to watch it tonight. If you have
All right.
Netflix, you need to
I do.
watch the Pez Outlaw. So we watched it in one of my film classes at school, and I watched it in every single one of my classes. I've already seen it like 4 or 5 times, and it gets better every time you watch it because you start picking up on so many other stories and details that he's sharing about his escapades as the Pez Outlaw. I'm not kidding you. Just when we get off tonight, just watch it. Just watch it.
I'm gonna drop everything I'm doing.
No, you're not. If you watch it, Okie Lawn Guy, he better not be just like, stroking this whole thing, trying to pump me up even more. I hope you're telling the truth, man, because
I
it
do.
really is that good.
Yeah, Okie Long guy. He's a good guy. He's commented in on a lot of my Instagram posts. He's a KOT detractor, so I'm glad about that.
All right. Well, since everybody's going to jump off here and watch the Pez Outlaw immediately tonight, I think right now, folks, y'all have been amazing tonight, just like the Pez Outlaw. Y'all have been incredible in the chat. Your support means so much. We really appreciate it. Go subscribe to Joe's channel, Wooderboy Productions. Joe, you got any last parting words for the evening before we wrap this thing up and put a fork in it?
Yeah, just remember next week is the giveaway night. It's the catch basin of all shows. It's all combined to one big giveaway at the end. We have all of our money fall into our catch basin. Doesn't steep out or leach out into anything else.
Golden Girls too, John. Golden Girls.
So just remember next week's the giveaway. And again, everyone have a great, safe, happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to everyone that has served as well. Thank you for protecting our country. So everyone have a great Memorial Day weekend as well.
Hey, perfect, Joe. That's a great way to end it. I do have to answer this question. Hey, no Instagram. It is budget.lawns. I have not posted on it in over a year and a half. I don't do TikTok, no Instagram, no Twitter, no Facebook. You can find me here and here only on YouTube. That's how I can focus as much attention as possible to my content creation and you, the people, our friends who support us. And we've come to know and answer your questions and enjoy the conversations we have, not only in the videos, but every Tuesday night here. Hey, that's wrapping it up for this episode. We'll be back next Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 Central. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you soon.